The next activity to be prioritized will be laying the asphalt concrete overlay. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Member for Kandara, are you satisfied with the statement?
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. And Madam Speaker, before I respond to the Chairman, Transport, Madam Speaker, allow me to pay tribute to the 16 victims who perished on Sunday during that gruesome road accident on Nairobi-Nakuru Highway. Madam Speaker, we pay our heartfelt condolences to the families. This is one family that lost all the family members. Madam Speaker, we pay tribute to the families of Mr. Karanja, Mr. Mburu, and Mr. Karato. Madam Speaker, our heartfelt condolences goes to the families, to all the families. And Madam Speaker, we pray to God to give them comfort and peace during this very, very difficult time of the loss. May God bless the memories of the victims. And in the word of Scripture, may God heal our broken hearts and bind up our wounds. And Madam Speaker, I would request you to have the House observe a 1 minute of silence to honor the members of the family and the victims that we lost on Sunday. Madam Speaker, if I can respond to the response by the chair. Yes, Madam Speaker.
Honorable Member for Kandara, I've indulged you, and on behalf of the House, we also send our condolences, and on behalf of Gilgil, where this accident took place, I want to confirm it is one of the worst accidents since we've ever seen, and we send our prayers to the families that were affected from Kandara, and we pray, as you have said, that they will get peace, they will have peace. And regardless of that, I've indulged you despite the fact that you are to seek clarifications. But from now, because you've already done that, kindly prosecute your matter with the Chair of Transport.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. To the response, we are already in the month of October, Madam Speaker, and I haven't seen any signs of the contractor coming back on the site. Just wanted to make sure, Madam Speaker, we are talking of October 2025. Thank you, Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Joguna, we will make sure that this contractor is given enough pressure to do what he's supposed to do. Honorable Speaker, I will support my colleague in ensuring that this road is completed, and then we will ensure the ministry does what is expected of them. Thank you.
Thank you. Member for Machakos, to be responded by the committee, same committee. Is the member for Machakos in the House? If she's not in the House, you shall table the response, Chair. We'll go to the next statement by Honorable Abubakar Talib. Are you in the House? Yes, so you will respond to, you will table the response to Honorable Kamene and respond to the statement by Honorable Abu.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Abubakar Twarib, MP, requested for a statement regarding traffic congestion along Changamwe Port Rides Road. Honorable Speaker, the Honorable Abubakar Twarib, MP, is in the request as saw the following. 1, measures being put in place by the government to ease congestion along Changamwe Port Rides Road in Mombasa to ensure smooth flow of traffic in the area. 2, the long-term measures that the government is putting in place to address traffic congestion in the area, including plans, if any, to relocate the container depots to alternative locations. And 3, detailed steps that the government is taking to ensure that Kenya Ports Authority embraces technological changes to adapt to and meet the demand of the fast-growing shipping industry. Honorable Speaker, the committee received a response from the Ministry of Roads and Transport on 30th September. Honorable Speaker, 30th June is my birthday. That's why my tongue is slipping to 30th June. 30th September 2025, which I now wish to make. One regarding the measures being put in place by the government to ease congestion along Changamwe Port Rights Road. The road was recently expanded into a dual carriageway to increase its capacity and ease traffic flow. The ministry noted that the current congestion was largely caused by trucks queuing to access container freight stations and the Port of Mombasa, which are under the jurisdiction of KPA. 2, on the long-term measures that the government is putting in place to address traffic congestion in the area. The ministry stated that KPA had embarked on constructing a new road within the port premises to help decongest the area and facilitate faster cargo movement. 4, further, on the detailed steps that the government is taking to ensure that Kenya Ports Authority embraces technological changes to adapt to and meet the demand of the fast-growing shipping industry. The ministry highlighted several initiatives under KPA's strategic plan 23-24 to 27-28, aimed at embracing global shipping trends and technological advancements. Among them, upgrading the terminal operating system for the end-to-end digitization, installing smart gates and a track appointment system to streamline cargo movement, and migrating to KPA SAP platform to S4HANA for automation of administrative functions. Honorable Speaker, the following are the other measures involved meant to ease congestion. A, the installation of a vessel traffic measurement and information system to enhance mitigation, safety, and efficiency. B, adoption of an electronic data interchange platform for better collaboration with the trading partners. And C, migration from analog to digital wireless radio communication to improve service delivery and system integration with key actors such as shipping lines, revenue authorities, and partner states can trade and banks under the single window model. 5, and lastly, the ministry emphasized that these combined efforts were geared towards improving efficiency, safety, productivity at the Port of Mombasa while addressing both immediate and long-term traffic concerns. Honorable Speaker, I submit.
Honorable Talib.
Yeah, thank you, Honorable Speaker. I'm not satisfied on the first question had requested the ministry to look into, as that blocks the highway, which is busy.
I can't hear you. I need to hear you,
Yeah,
Honorable.
What I'm saying, thank you. What I'm requesting is for the ministry to move with speed and ease congestion on the Changamwe Portrees Road. This is due to the inland container depots that operate on this area. So as a licensing authority, we cannot, this cannot go on as it's blocking the main highway. They're operating from the main highway. I think that should be a matter of concern that the ministry can move in quickly and correct. Thank you.
Very well, Chair.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. I am surprised that my colleague is not satisfied with this very comprehensive and well-detailed response, which has timelines, and the ministry has told us that they will and they are engaging technological advancement measures to address the congestion challenge.
I think what Honorable Member has said, you just fast track it, and I think it's in order.
We'll do that. Thank you.
Very well. Let us go to the general statement by Honorable Member for Tetu. Honorable Wandeto.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I rise to give a general statement as a tribute to the passing of Honorable F.T. Nyamo, former Member of Parliament for Tetu constituency. Honorable Speaker, pursuant to provisions of Standing Order 259D2, I rise to report the demise of Honorable Francis Thombe Nyamo, former Member of Parliament for Tetu constituency, who passed away on Sunday, 28 September 2025. Honorable Speaker, the late F.T. Nyamo was born in 1939 in Tetu, Nyeri County, and lived a life wholly dedicated to the service of the people. His education journey laid a strong foundation for his career, culminating in higher studies that equipped him with the knowledge and vision to lead. A man of intellect and compassion, he channeled his energy into lifting his community and the country. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Nyamo ventured into politics in 2007, successfully contesting the Tetu constituency seat under the Party of National Unity, PNU. He served in the 10th Parliament from 2007 to 2013, where he distinguished himself as a diligent and principled legislator. During his parliamentary stint, he served in the Committees of Education, Research and Technology, Constituency Development Fund, and Library Committee, where he made significant contributions. In this House, he was known for his thoughtful interventions and his unwavering commitment to accountability, oversight, and transformative development. Honorable Speaker, beyond the chambers of Parliament, Honorable Nyamo was a respected community leader and businessman. As chairman of Longhorn Publishers, he advanced educational publishing in Kenya, playing a vital role in expanding access to knowledge. His involvement in the lottery movement of Nairobi reflected his deep sense of service, earning him the affectionate pet name FT, short for Fun Times, which symbolizes his warmth, friendliness, and ability to connect with people from all walks of life. Honorable Nyamo's people-centered leadership and his legacy is etched not only in the projects he spearheaded, but also in the remarkable inspiration he imparted to young people and the community at large. Honorable Speaker, as we mourn the passing of this distinguished leader, we take solace in the enduring memory of his service and sacrifice. His death leaves a void, yet his contributions will continue to inspire current and future generations. The late F.T. Nyamo was cremated on Monday, 29 September, in accordance with his last wishes. Honorable Speaker, I convey my heartfelt condolences to the family of the late F.T. Nyamo, his family, and the people of Tetu, and the nation at large during this difficult time. May his soul rest in eternal peace. I thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Thank you, Honorable Wandeto. We join you in wishing and sending our condolences to the people of Tetu and the family of the late F.T. Nyamo. If you wish to make us a comment on this, kindly use the intervention. If not, let us be a bit, to be more orderly. We will get a statement from Honorable Biego for the late Honorable Elijah Langat. Then we can make comments together. So, Honorable Paul, you have the floor to make your statement.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 259D 2A, I rise to pay tribute to the former Member of Parliament for Chesumei, the late Honorable Elijah Kiptarbei Lagat, who passed away on 29th September 2025. Honorable Speaker, the late Hon Elijah Kiptarbei Lagat passed away on Monday, 29th September 2025 at the age of 59. His passing is a profound loss to his family, friends, and the community he served with unwavering dedication and commitment. The late Hon Lagat was born on 19th June 1966 and raised in Saniak village within Chesumei constituency, where he schooled in Saniak Primary School and Saniak Secondary School. He held a Bachelor of Arts degree and diploma in the adult education, both from the University of Eastern Africa, Baraton, until his death. The late Hon Lagat was serving as a board member at the National Authority for the Campaign Against Alcohol and Drug Abuse, known as NACADA. Honorable Speaker, the late Hon Elijah Lagat will be fondly remembered both for his outstanding athletic achievements and his distinguished public service. Before venturing into politics, he was a celebrated marathoner who earned international acclaim. Interestingly, his journey into long distance running began as a personal effort to reduce weight at the age of 27, which remarkably grew into a world-class career. Notably, he won the 104th edition of the Boston Marathon after edging out Ethiopia's Genzagen Abera in a record time of 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 4 seconds. It is within the same race that another Kenyan, Moses Tanui, finished in third place 3 seconds later. He also featured in the 1995 Frankfurt Marathon, finishing second with a time of 2 hours, 12 minutes, and 40 seconds. His first win came during the Berlin Marathon, where he took the top honors in a personal best time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 41 seconds, and later trumped at the 1998 Prague Marathon with a time of 2 hours, 8 minutes, and 52 seconds. Honorable Speaker, in 2002, the late Honorable Lagat vied for the Mgwen constituency parliamentary seat on a KANU ticket, but was unsuccessful. He remained undeterred, and in 2007, he successfully vied and was elected as the Member of Parliament for Mgwen constituency on the ODM ticket. He was also successfully re-elected in 2013, where he became the first elected Member of Parliament for the newly formed Chesumei constituency, which I currently serve. During the 10th and 11th Parliaments, the late Hon Lagat served diligently as a vice chairperson of the Catering and Health Services Committee, as a member of the Labor and Social Welfare Committee too. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of this House, I extend our deepest condolences to the family of the late Honorable Elijah Kiptarbei Lagat, his friends, the great people of Chesumei constituency and the entire Nandi, and the nation at large. As we mourn his loss, may we draw inspiration from his extraordinary life of service, humility, and dedication to humanity. May his soul rest in eternal peace. And in our mother tongue, Mutyo Missing. Thank you.
Very well. We also send our condolences to the family of the late Honorable Lagat. I was lucky to have served with him in the 11th Parliament, and we pray for peace for his family. Honorable members, I will indulge a few of you to make comments, just 1 minute each. Then we will have a moment of silence for both of them. And we'll start with the Honorable Member, Dorothy Ikiara.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to join Honorable Wadeto and Honorable Paul in mourning these two gallant soldiers who served so diligently in this House. Honorable Chair, death is painful, but the legacies that we leave behind are never erased. I want to join the families and say, may their souls rest in eternal peace. At the same time, Honorable Speaker, allow me to join Honorable Mogo in mourning the death of the families that lost their loved ones. Honorable Speaker, as we mourn these loved ones, we want to draw lessons, Honorable Speaker, that life is too sacred to be lost. And we want to urge our drivers and all people who use either private or public service to be more cautious. Honorable Speaker, it's painful to learn that our whole family was wiped out. And for future, Honorable Speaker, let's also say, sometimes when we are traveling as families, we divide ourselves so that at least, if anything, in the event of any eventuality, we can be able to at least mourn few. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Amen.
Honorable Member for Nandi Hills.
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, one more time to give me a chance to join my colleagues in condoling, mourning the loss of great leaders of this country, in particular, Honorable Lagat, who in Nandi was a beacon, a leader who, in his talent of sport, in the year 2000, he was in the same league with Catherine Dereba. When Catherine was leading in the women race, Lagat was cementing the position of Boston Marathon and lifting the name of this country to the higher level, and inspired many young people in Nandi and across the country so that they would be able to love sport. So I joined to really condole. And last is Lagat, having been a member of parliament for Mgwen and having been a member of parliament of Chesumei, he pioneered both of the two. He did fantastic projects in Nandi.
We'll keep it short. Honorable Nyakundi.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for also giving me this chance. I also want to give my sincere, heartfelt condolences to the families of Honorable Langat and Honorable F.T. Nyamu for the loss. These are one of our members who we've lost, who are gallant soldiers, who really worked hard for the people of this country. To be specific, F.T. Nyamu was the founding member of Longhorn Publishers, and he was also the owner of Kenya School of Professional Studies, which many Kenyans passed through those schools. And for Langat, who was a member of parliament for Chesumei, who was also an athlete who nurtured talent and many young people, who showed a good example to many young people. We want to say pole sana to the people of Chesumei and the people of Tetu, and also to the leaders who are here. We want to say pole on behalf of those people. Thank you.
Member for Tinderet.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I want to join my colleagues in condoling our two great leaders, Honorable FT Nyamu and Honorable David Elijah Kiptarbei Lagat. Honorable Speaker, I served in this House with Honorable Lagat, who was a committed member. He was an astute athlete, and in fact, if you look at his achievements in Boston, in London, and in all the leading cities in the world, he did a lot. More importantly, when he came to Parliament, he served with 2 terms as a member of Parliament in Mgwen and later on Chesumei. Elijah did great work in trying to reach the poor, establish schools. He even went on to fight for his community. Honorable FT Nyamo, a great publisher, and more importantly, he was an educationist. He played a big role in establishing private university education in this country. And I want to agree with my colleagues that we've lost 2 great men, and may their soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you.
Very well. Keitani.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Allow me to pass my condolences to the family, relatives, and the people of both Tetu and Chesumei for the loss of these great men who served the various constituencies, FT Nyamo and Elijah Lagat, who served Chesumei constituency, first Mgwen, then Chesumei when the new constitution was promulgated. And for Elijah Lagat, I think he has played a very big role in the Kenyan history. History of Kenya in terms of sports will not be written without his name being there as being the world champion of the 104th Boston Marathon, which he ran and was a champion and in 2 hours and 9 seconds. And that, from being a runner to being a politician and succeeding in both fronts, tells us that he has actually served this country in both sides. And that actually goes to say that he will be remembered for all the good things that he has done for this country. May the souls of those 2 men rest in peace, and pole to the families and the greater nation, or the greater community of both Chesumei and Tetu. Thank you.
Navaholo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, on behalf of the great people of Navaholo, myself and my family, allow me to join the 2 members of Parliament, the Honorable Wandeto and the Honorable, my good friend Polo, for the demise, following the demise of these 2 gallant sons. Honorable Speaker, you and I had the privilege of serving here with the Honorable Elijah Lagat. The only description I would want to give him, Honorable Speaker, is that he was ever a smiling person. He could come into the House, he is smiling, but he was very firm on what he wanted to achieve. As our representative, Honorable Speaker, on the Committee on Catering, I remember, Honorable Speaker, a time when the late Honorable Jacoyo Midiwo raised an issue with respect to what is being consumed in Parliament, Honorable Speaker. And Honorable Elijah Lagat was very strong and firm to suggest to the committee, to the members, that he has to align what the Committee on Catering was as equal as any other committee, Honorable Speaker. Therefore, as strong as he was, I want to commend and say, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable Nikolong.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, on my behalf and the people of Turkana East, I wish to send my condolences to the 2 families of our late brothers. Madam Speaker, if I can just say something about the late Lagat. Honorable Speaker, I was the Honorable Lagat in this House in 2013 to 2017. I remember one time when we were just taking tear lunch, Honorable Lagat, the late, told me a story of his life. And a story I can't forget in my life as a politician. The late told me about his life, going to the constituency every Friday, and he normally go with the youth, and when coming back, there are the youth who facilitate him to come back to Parliament every month.
Honorable Mwafrika member for Isambu. It's 1 minute.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for this opportunity. Also to join my colleagues to condole the families of the departed leaders who served in this House. Madam Speaker, FT Nyamu is on record of acquiring Wrongman Kenya Limited, which later became the Longhorn Publishers. He contributed a lot to the education of this country, and Longhorn Publishers is known to have published several Kiswahili books like Kiswahili Mufti. May their souls rest in eternal peace.
Honorable Kuria Kimani.
Asante Speaker, yangu ni kuchukua nafasi hii kutoa wasia wangu kwa jamii ya familia hawa waheshimiwa wawili ambao wamepoteza maisha yao. Nafikiri ni kumbusho kwa sisi wote ya kwamba sisi wote mili hii si yetu, tuko katika safarini, na wakati mwenye mili hii atakaposema wakati umefika, basi haitakuwa budi basi ila sisi kuondoka kwenda kwa dunia ambayo hatuijui, ambayo tunaambiliwa. Kwa hivyo ni wakati wetu kukumbusha kujiandaa kila siku, kujihusisha na wenzetu katika mambo ambayo ni ya manufaa kwa jamii, kwa Mwenyezi Mungu na kwa familia zetu, na kila siku kumbuka kwamba wakati tu ndio haujafika, lakini pindi wakati huo ukifika sisi wote tutaondoka. Asante Mheshimiwa Speaker.
Kaluma, Honorable Kaluma.
Honorable Speaker, I register on my own behalf and on behalf of the people of Homa Bay Town constituency my deepest and heartfelt condolences on the passing on of the two of our former colleagues. Honorable Speaker, I knew FT Nyamu, I remember in the 10th Parliament, and I knew him at a time we were studying at the Faculty of Law, which was just across the road from an enterprise yard, which by that time I remember was called Kenya School of Professional Studies. My most sincere, and Kenya School of Professional Studies, I remember later became UHURU University. I want to condole the family and pray for God's strength for the family of FT Nyamu. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Elijah Lagat, we served with him in the 11th Parliament here. A very amiable, very humble, very patriotic, very jovial, ever laughing in his interactions, nothing hard. And I remember, Honorable Speaker, when we approached the 2017 elections, at a time, Honorable Speaker, nobody in Rift Valley who is a politician would associate with our political formation. Honorable Elijah Lagat hosted me with my party leader, the Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga in Kapsabet, and he dressed Raila as a traditional leader of the Nandi community. May his soul rest in peace. May our good Lord comfort and strengthen the family of Elijah Lagat and, of course, the family of FT Nyamu. I thank you.
Honorable Mawathe.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also join my colleagues in condoling with the families of our bereaved, our late brothers, our former colleagues. And I was aware of, I knew a little bit of Honorable FT Nyamu, the proprietor of the Longhorn's Publishers, and we wish to pass our condolences to both families. May the Almighty God give them strength during these grieving times and tough times for them. Thank you.
Farah, Honorable Farah.
Madam Speaker, I also condole with the families of the two great leaders, former members of Parliament. I have had the pleasure of being a friend to FT Nyamu for well over 25 years. And long before he even became a member of Parliament for Tetu, and he was in the finance sector. I come from a constituency that has directly benefited from his support through Longhorn Publishers. I heard a lot about our other gallant MP Elijah Lagat, because he served this country in the manner he served. He brought us prestige and image and a lot of medals. So I want to condole with their families, both of the families. I want to tell the wife, Mjane wa ndugu yetu FT Nyamo, who is known to me, Halima Shaia, to bear this loss, and we wish you all the best in your future.
Honorable members, we shall have a moment of silence for our fallen colleagues. May we all be upstanding. May their souls rest in eternal peace. Next order.
Order number 8, Committee of the Whole House.
How do you get this? Order, honorable members. Honorable members, we are dealing, this is a committee stage for the Virtual Asset Services Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025.
Clause 3.
I propose that clause 3, I propose the question that clause 3 be part of the bill. Yes, Honorable Kimani? You're supposed to move a deletion.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 3 be deleted as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, this proposed amendment deletes the definition of the term virtual asset service providers, which has been provided for in clause 2 of the bill. So since this has already been provided for in clause 2, that's why you don't need to have it in clause 3, and that's why we are proposing a deletion of clause 3 of the bill.
I propose that the question that clause 3 be deleted as proposed. I now put the question that clause 3 be deleted as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say aye? The ayes have it.
Clause 4.
Honorable members, I propose that the question that clause 4 be part of the bill.
Put the question.
I now put the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. As many of the opinion say aye? As many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
I propose that the question that clause 5 be part of the bill.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 5 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, this proposed amendment is a cleanup to the amendment. I think the drafters of the bill were using the old language for avoidance of doubt, which is no longer used on legal drafting. And therefore, this amendment is now seeking to delete the words for avoidance of doubt, which appears in the introductory remarks. This amendment also seeks to exclude the virtual asset tokens from the Act. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
I now propose that clause 4, sorry, I now propose that clause 4 of clause 5 be amended as proposed. I now put the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. As many of the opinions say aye. As many of the contrary say nay. The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 5 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
I propose that the question that clause 6 be part of the bill. There is no amendment to clause 6. Now, I now put the question that clause 6 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 7. Clause 7.
So,
I propose the question.
There's an amendment to clause 7.
Yes, I propose the question that clause 7 be part of the bill.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 7 be amended as per the order paper. This proposed amendment is seeking to delete the obligation of regulatory authorities to provide feedback to the virtuous assets service providers on matters of detecting and reporting suspicious activities. Honorable Chair, this is because this particular provision proposed in clause 7 has already been provided for under clause 33(2) of the bill, and therefore there is no need to repeat it in clause 7. Therefore, I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 7 be amended as proposed. As many of the opinions say aye.
Aye.
As many of the contrary opinions say nay. The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 7 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? As many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 8.
I propose the question that clause 8 be part of the bill.
For the question.
I now put the question that clause 8 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 9.
I propose the question that clause 9 be part of the bill. Chairperson, mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 9 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, this amendment is seeking to do a cleanup for the provisions of clause 9 so that it provides for a proper order and logical flow. So it's just a matter of providing for order and logical flow. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
I propose the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed. I now put the question that clause 9 be amended as proposed. As many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 9 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 10.
I propose the question that clause 10 be part of the bill. Move the amendment.
So, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 10 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, this amendment is seeking to do a cleanup. It's providing for subclause 1 for permissible activities under this Act. So, we're proposing to delete subclause 1 and substituting, therefore, with a new subclause 1, which reads in verbatim, the permissible activities under this Act are as set out in first schedule to this Act. So it's not just a cleanup, it's also providing in subclause 1 for permissible activities that would be allowed under this law. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
I propose the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed. I now put the question that clause 10 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 10 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 11.
I propose the question that clause 11 be part of the bill.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 11 be amended as per the order paper. Again, Honorable Chair, this a deletion of subclause 1 and substituting with a new clause as provided for in the order paper is providing for a cleanup and also seeking to do a proper and logical flow. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
I propose the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Any debate? I now put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
The Honorable Russell, you have an issue? Before I...
Thank you very much, Chairman.
Yes.
Considering this is a very important bill, this particular amendment is to confirm that the idea of virtual business has to be within a controlled space through an authority, through the cabinet secretary, so that individuals, it doesn't matter in which part of the world they are, so long as they are doing business in Kenya, then somebody must be watching over their back. Thank you, Chairman.
I now put the question that clause 11 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 11 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 12.
I propose the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 12 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? As many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 13.
I propose the question that clause 13 be part of the bill. Move on.
13.
Yes, 13.
Yes, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 13 be amended as per the order paper. You're proposing, Honorable Chair, that clause 13 of the bill be amended in subclause 5 by deleting the words that person appearing immediately after provisions of subsection 2 or 3. Honorable Chair, this is a cleanup so that there is proper logical flow of that particular clause.
I propose the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed. Any debate?
For the question?
I now put the question that clause 13 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 13 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 14.
I propose the question that clause 14 be part of the bill.
For the question?
I now put the question that clause 14 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 15.
I propose the question that clause 15 be part of the bill. Mover.
So, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 15 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, even though we really appreciate National Treasury for this very, very important bill, we all agree that this is one of the most poorly drafted bills that the committee has handled. We had to do really a lot of cleanup. Mistakes that should not really have found themselves in the publication of a bill. And just to give an example of this, Honorable Chair, clause 15, if you read, it says, a license granted under this act shall not be transferred or assigned without prior written approval of the relevant regulatory authority. And subclause 2, any person who contravenes the provisions of the subsection 1, that person shall be liable to the administrative penalties specified under section 42F. the words "that person shall" is not really relevant in that particular clause, Honorable Speaker. And that's why now we are proposing that we delete the words "that person," and therefore the clause will read, therefore, after, if this House agrees with this amendment, that any person who contravenes the provisions of the subsection 1 shall be liable to the administrative penalty specified under subsection 42F. And therefore the words "that person" are not completely, they're not at all relevant in this particular clause. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
I propose the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed. Any debate? I now put the question that clause 15 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 15 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 16.
I propose the question that clause 16 be part of the bill. Over.
Again, Honorable Chair, this is again a cleanup to clause 16, which reads, the relevant regulatory authority may suspend, vary, or revoke a virtual asset service provider license where it is of the opinion that, then provides for those conditions. But, Honorable Chair, if, it's common sense that the law talks about virtual asset service providers, and therefore the use of the words a virtual asset service provider are completely unnecessary in this particular clause. And that's why now we're proposing to delete the words virtual asset service provider so that the law will read, the relevant regulatory authority may suspend, vary, or revoke a license where it is of opinion that, and provides now for those particular conditions. I'd like to move on, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed. Yes, Honorable Kaluma.
Yeah, Chair, I support the proposed amendment by the Chair. And Chair, if you look at clause 16.1, which is being amended, I would ask that when looking at it, we also look at it with the definition of license. And under clause 2, license is defined to mean a virtual asset service provider license. So you cannot again repeat virtual service provider license. We just use license, so we delete virtual service provider, Chair. I support.
I now put the question that clause 16 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 16 be amended as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 17.
I propose the question that clause 17 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 17 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 17.1 be amended in paragraph D by deleting the word "send," appearing immediately after the word notification to be, and substituting therefore with the word "sent." Honorable Chair, again, this is a cleanup of really very errors that should never have found themselves in such a piece of law. Where, if you read paragraph D, it says, 17.1 says, a licensee may surrender its license by giving a prior notice for surrender accomplished by the following information. So D, the notification to be sent to clients as at the surrender. You know, you cannot say that the notification shall be sent. The correct verb to use there would be shall be sent. And therefore, we are now deleting that word "send" and replacing therefore with the word "sent" to correct that particular grammatical error. Again, an error that should have never found itself in the publication of such a very important bill. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 17 be amended as proposed. Any debate?
For the question?
I now put the question that clause 17 be amended as proposed. Will as many as those prepared say aye? Aye. Will as many as contrary say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 17 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 18, 19, and 20.
I propose the question that clauses 18, 19, and 20 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 18, 19, and 20 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 21.
I propose the question that clause 21 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 21 be amended as follows, that clause 21 be amended in A, in subclause 1, by deleting the word subsection 2, and in subclause 4, by deleting the words that person appearing immediately after the words provisions of this particular section. And therefore, Honorable Chair, again, this is just a cleanup to make sure that this law has not just we correct the grammatical errors on the bill, but also ensure that the bill has logical flow. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
I propose the question that clause 21, I propose a question that clause 21 be amended as proposed.
For the question.
I now put the question that clause 21 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 21 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 22, 23, and 24.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 22, 23, and 24 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 22, 23, and 24 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 25.
I propose the question that clause 25 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 25 be amended in A, in paragraph E, by deleting the words anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism finance, and something therefore with the words AML, CFT / CPF, and in paragraph and B in paragraph S by deleting the words comply and something therefore with the word complies immediately after subparagraph 4. So in A, Honorable Chair, the words anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism are easily substituted with the initials, abbreviations, AML / CFT / CPF. And you'll find that in other places in the bill where we are referring to anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism finance, we use the abbreviations AML or CFT or CPF, and therefore we don't need again to, for the sake of consistency. That's why now we are deleting the words anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism finance and deleting that with the abbreviations. And in paragraph B, by deleting the word comply, to replace it with the word complies to make sure that it's grammatically correct. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
I propose the question that clause 25 be amended as proposed. Any debate? Yes. Honorable Kaluma.
Yeah, Honorable Chair, I support the amendment in clause 25B, but Honorable Chair, I don't agree with the proposed amendment by way of clause 25A. This is because, Chair, if you look at clause 2, the abbreviations herein are not defined unless they are proposed to be defined in the committee's amendment. What is defined in clause 2, Honorable Chair, is anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism finance, which is what we are seeking to delete for an abbreviation, which, unless specifically defined, Honorable Chair, may be abbreviations for other things according to the people using them. So this I would request the Chair to drop, unless, of course, we are taking the abbreviations to clause 2, not the whole phrase.
The Honorable Mover.
Honorable Chair, I thank you very much, Honorable Kaluma, for your remarks and for your very keen observation. You'll notice that later on, we'll be moving an amendment to clause 2 to provide for definitions of those particular abbreviations. So it's just that for the flow of the committee of the whole house, we don't start with clause 2, but ordinarily then we'll have started the definition and then now moving to clause 3. But even if you check on the other paper, we are proposing amendment to clause 2 to provide now for definitions of AML and CFT and CPF to mean anti-money laundering, countering the finance of terrorism, and countering proliferation financing.
You in agreement? I propose the question that clause 25 be amended as proposed.
For the question?
I now put the question that clause 25 be amended as proposed. Will as many as appear and say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as contrary appear and say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 25 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that appearance say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as are of the contrary appearance say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 26 and 27.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 26 and 27 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 26 and 27 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 28.
Honorable members, I propose that the question that clause 28 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 28 be amended in the bill in clause 5, beginning the words "that person" appearing immediately after the words "provisions of subsection 1 or 4" in this section. Honorable Chair, if I read out that particular section, it is a person who contravenes the provisions of subsection 1 or 4 of this section, that person commits an offense. And so we are proposing to delete the words "that person" so that the law will read a person who contravenes the provisions of subsection 1 or 4 of this section commits an offense and is liable upon conviction to a fine or imprisonment or to both as specified in section 41(1). Honorable Chair, the words "that person" is not at all relevant in this particular law, and that's why we are now proposing the addition of the word "that person" so that we have a better drafting language for this particular law.
I propose a question that clause 28 be amended as proposed. Any debate? I now put the question that clause 28 be amended as proposed. Will as many as the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 28 be as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 29, 30, 31, and 32.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 29, 30, 31, and 32 be part of the bill.
For the question.
I now put the question that the clauses 29, 30, 31, and 32 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 33.
I propose the question that clause 33 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 33 be amended as per the order paper. Again, this is a matter as we have debated earlier and raised as a point of concern by the Honorable MP for Homa Bay, the Honorable Peter Kaluma, on the use of abbreviations AML, CFT, and CPF. To mean anti-money laundering, counter-finance terrorism, and counter proliferation financing, respectively. So by deleting now the use of the words in full to using the words of to replacing that using abbreviations, and again, without belaboring, this new abbreviations will be defined by an amendment that we are going to introduce later in this particular session by an amendment to clause 2 of the bill.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 33 be amended as proposed. I now put the question that clause 33 be amended as proposed. Will as many as the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 33 be as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as the opinion say aye? Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 34.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 34 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 34 be amended as per the order paper. Again, this is replacing the words anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism financing, and counter-proliferation of funds with abbreviations AML/CFT and /CPF respectively, as discussed earlier in the previous amendment that we just approved on clause 33.
I now propose the question that clause 34 be amended as proposed.
For the question.
I now put the question that clause 34 be amended as proposed? Will as many of the opinion say aye?
Aye.
Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 34, as amended, be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? Nay. The ayes have it.
Clause 35.
I propose the question that clause 35 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 35 be amended in subclause 2, by reading the words for avoidance of doubt, in subclause 6, by reading the words that person, appearing immediately after the words false or misleading, in subclause 7, by reading the words that person, appearing immediately after words subsection 1, 2, 3, and 4. Again, this is as per the description I've given earlier. The use of the words that person is not relevant at all in this particular legislative proposal. And secondly, the use of for avoidance of doubt is language that was used in ancient legal drafting language, and which is no longer used now in drafting language. Therefore, we are now proposing to delete the words for avoidance of doubt. For example, in clause 5.2, to lead a natural person shall not be liable to promote or issue a virtue asset offering in or from Kenya. And by now, after now deleting the words for avoidance of doubt, I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 35 be amended as proposed. Yes, Kaluma.
Yeah, Chair, I support the amendment. Chair, it appears the drafting of clause 35 was by a person in judicial office or formally in judicial office. In terms of legal drafting, we don't make emphasis by starting, obligations by saying for the avoidance of doubt. We directly speak the legal position that should obligate. And so the deletion of for the avoidance of doubt will leave us with the natural person shall not be eligible to promote or issue, so that you are directly indicating an obligation and offering guidance by way of law. The others, of course, are for cleaner purposes. I support.
You support the amendment?
Yeah.
I now put the question that clause 35 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 35 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as are of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as are of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 36, 37, and 38.
I propose the question that clauses 36, 37, and 38 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 36, 37, and 38 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 39.
I propose the question that clause 39 be part of the bill. Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 39 of the bill be amended in subclause 6 by deleting the words that person appearing immediately after the words false or misleading. And again, this is the deletion of the word that person because it's not relevant at all in the current and modern legal drafting language. I beg to move, Honorable Chair.
Fair enough. I propose the question that clause 39 be amended as proposed. I now put the question that clause 39 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clauses 40, 41.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clauses 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, and 49 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clauses 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48 and 49 be part of the bill. Will as many as of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 50.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 50 be part of the bill. Over.
Honourable Chair, I beg to move that clause 50 be amended by deleting subsection 2 and splitting therefore with the following new section 2, without prejudice to generate of subsection 1, that delegations made under this act may describe the form of application. It's quite a long amendment. Honourable Chair, I beg to move that this particular amendment be amended as per the order paper. And the reasoning is we are providing for a very comprehensive amendments to make provisions and give powers to the Cabinet Secretary so that the Cabinet Secretary is able to make regulations to operationalize this act. This bill is seeking to regulate a very new era of virtual asset ecosystem. In that regard, we are now amending the bill to allow the Cabinet Secretary to make regulations to provide for matters such as, and not limited to, the insurance requirements for various categories of virtual asset requirements, for initial coin offering, requirements for listing tokenized assets on security exchange, and requirements for issuance and use of stable coins. Honourable Chair, the whole ecosystem of virtual assets involves stable coins, it involves the exchanges, it involves initial coin offering, and also the conversion of virtual assets into fiat currency. And therefore, all these processes are so technical that they need a legal provision which is not possible to provide in a piece of legislative, in a piece of law, and therefore can only be provided for in regulations. So this particular amendment is now giving power to the Cabinet Secretary responsible for matters of National Treasury to make regulations to guide and to regulate this particular ecosystem of virtual assets as explained. I beg to move, Honourable Chair.
Honourable members, I propose the question that clause 50 be amended as proposed. Yes, Kaluma.
Chair, the power to make law lies with this Parliament, and in very specified cases, Parliament can donate that power to regulation-making authorities. And Chair, in terms of the bill, if you look at clause 50, subclause 1, a general power is given. But we are saying in terms of the amendments being proposed at subclause 2, which I support, Honourable Chair, that being a donated power, Parliament must specify to the authority matters over which the authority can, exercise that power. That enables, Parliament to keep control. And so by the amendments to subclause 2, we are expanding the scope of matters over which Parliament is donating powers for purposes of regulation making, while also excluding a few which were initially given, Honourable Chair, which are powers which can only be exercised by Parliament for purposes of, control of that delegated authority. Therefore, support, Honourable Chair.
Yes, Honourable Rasso. Honourable Rasso.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, I would support this particular amendment on a limb. Regulation is what operationalizes a law, whether it is existing or whether it is being crafted. And I think in this particular case, we can only give ground as lawmakers in this land that to first put this law before our people, then we can have this regulation as crafted alongside the suggested amendment. But going forward in the future, considering this is a new environment, the idea of virtual assets is a new environment, not just in Kenya, but around the world. So for that reason, we would expect that the Cabinet Secretary must come up with drafts of regulation for this particular management of these assets, because it is really about finance. And it is a living thing. It will keep on growing. If we are just going to attach it to a parent law, then it simply means we'll be amending it every other time. I hope the chairman has noted my concern, but for now, I support it. Thank you, Chairman.
Chairman.
Honorable Chair, I really note with concern the remarks raised by the honorable member. And yes, in fact, we actually delayed a bit in terms of tabling a report of this House and approving these amendments so that we could seek concurrence with the National Treasury and the Central Bank and the stakeholders on particular matters. Because sometimes we feel that when some particular gaps are left to be filled through regulations. And remember, Honorable Chair, maybe in future even this House may seek to amend our standing orders to change where regulations go, because regulations are approved by the Committee on Delegated Legislation. And so, and now, remember, the Committee on Delegated Legislation has not dealt with the bill in the first place, and therefore they are bombarded with something of a new sector. And every regulations in this House, whether it's about health, finance, transport, water, agriculture, goes to the same committee. Honorable Chair, it is common sense that you cannot be an authority in all these fields. And therefore, Honorable Chair, we stand a risk of some regulations being passed in this House in a way that maybe they would have been done better. And remember, again, our standing orders say that we cannot amend regulations. So they're either approved as they are or rejected in totality. And therefore, this is a lacuna that we need perhaps to rethink as this House and think how we can fix it. But now, leaving such serious decisions that have even key impact, including on our fiscal and monetary policy, such as the issuance of stable coins and all that, being left to be operationalized through a regulation, I think is a big gap in itself that this House should endeavor to fix. But I agree with the sentiments raised in the Honorable Chair, and it's something that the Committee on Finance and National Planning is seriously considering in the future. I thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes, where? Proceed.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Yeah, thank you very much. I think, as Chair said earlier, this bill was poorly drafted. And Chair, this is a very new area. I think in Africa, we are the third country which is having this kind of law in Africa. And even when you look at even developed countries like US, they just enacted a law on virtual assets. So because the law is evolving, and this sector is very new and is evolving, I think we can take whatever it is here as we think of amending the law as new issues evolve. Thank you very, very much, Chair.
Honorable members, I now propose the question that clause 50 be amended as proposed. Now, honorable members, I now put the question that clause 50 be amended as proposed. Will as many as the opponent say aye? Aye. Will as many as the contrary say nay? I put the question and the ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 50 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as the opponent say aye? Aye. Will as many as the contrary say nay? The ayes have it.
New clause 45A.
I'm calling on the mover to move second reading of new clause.
Okay. Honorable Chair, on behalf of the minority leader, I beg to move that new clause 45A be now read a second time. Honorable Chair, this particular amendment is providing that the Cabinet Secretary may appoint a suitably qualified person as an agent to trace any transaction undertaken on digital marketplace, including and not limited to virtual assets by a person, whether resident or non-resident, to ascertain the income which accrued in or derived from Kenya for purposes of computation and collection of unpaid tax arising from that particular transaction. Honorable Chair, this particular amendment is providing for further sealing of loopholes, again, as debated by this House, because this issue of virtual assets is a very, very new sector. And therefore, there are risks, for example, on misuse, on tax avoidance, and therefore, this amendment is giving powers to the government secretary where they feel it's necessary that they may appoint a different agent rather than the regulatory authority to track any measures that might feel that they are leading to loss of taxes. Having discussed this with my leader of majority party, we are in agreement that the proposed amendment by our minority leader, the Honorable Kenyatta Mohammed, is quite in order, and we support this particular amendment. Honorable Chair, the issue of virtual assets is something that should really concern us as Kenyans. You know, this year alone, it is estimated that Kenyans hold around $1.2 trillion worth of virtual assets. And this is completely unregulated. Honorable Chair, you know, to transfer Kenya shillings 1 million from my account to yours is a whole difficult game. You know, you have to fill all this KYC and attach receipts and attach agreements and all that. But with the virtual assets that are currently unregulated, it's possible to send you 1 trillion shillings on a virtual asset space, just like this, without any regulatory framework or anything. And Honorable Chair, this House now becomes the first among the first in Africa, I think the first after South Africa and Ghana, to pass a legislative framework on virtual assets. And therefore, it's not just a very welcome idea, it's going to help us really cover the issues of anti-terrorism and counter and purification of funds and anti-money laundering, Honorable Chair, but also most importantly, open an avenue for job creation and having other institutions that are engaged in virtual assets to come and set up in Kenya and expand to the rest of Africa. And that, in those few remarks, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the amendment be now read a second time and agree with this amendment proposed by the leader of minority.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 45A. I propose the question that new clause 45A be now read a second time. Yes, Kaluma?
Chair, I oppose this particular amendment. And Chair, I do so on a number of reasons. First, Chair, if the members were to look at what is in clause 6, at subclause B, in fact, the whole of clause 6, the relevant regulatory authorities are stated to be the Capital Markets Authority, the Central Bank, and Chair, if you look at C, any other public body established under a written law that the Cabinet Secretary may, by notice in the Kenya Gazette, designate as such. Designate as such. And so my understanding, Chair, is that the provision being created under the proposed new clause 45A, and I'm saying this to the members, though it is so wordy and long, does not add anything to the larger provision already provided in clause 6, subclause C, which empowers the Cabinet Secretary to designate any other person to do so. And then unless therefore, Chair, anything additional that would be achieved by this is demonstrated, Honorable Chair, as not already in clause 6, I would urge the members that we reject this proposed amendment for superfluity. The power sought to be donated is already in the Act. In any event, beyond being superfluous, Chair, Honorable Chair, we will have a situation whereby this law, if enacted, at what would be section 6, you are specifying the bodies which are in charge of the regulations under the Act. And then parallel to the law, because of a provision being newly created, the Cabinet Secretary is also going to appoint agents whom, Honorable Chair, under the authorities of this Parliament, we may not directly, oversight. It will create confusion, and it is unfortunate the minority leader is not in. I'm happy our chair of the committee, and I serve in this committee, has moved it well, but really, this is an amendment to be dropped, Honorable Chair.
Yes, Mboni.
I think I tend to disagree with the Honorable Karuma, because clause 6 is talking about the bodies or the institutions which are going to regulate the partial assets providers. And we are talking about Capital Market Authority and Central Bank of Kenya. And any other body which established under written law by that the Cabinet may, or by notice of the Kenya Gazette, dismiss as such. But you see, when you look at the new clause 45A, it's talking about tax collection. Tax collection. It's talking about where KRA is not able, for any reason or any ground, can appoint an agent to collect that tax on behalf of KRA. I think it's very clear that the other one is talking about legislative authorities. The new one is talking about taxes. Thank you, Chair.
Yes, Bowen.
Chair, maybe we can, the Chair of Finance, on behalf of the Leader of Majority, can expound what is the input of this new clause 45. Because from what I look at the bill, the clause 45 is about access to and maintenance of a client transaction records. And section 6 is about the regulation. So maybe if you can expound a bit, what is the input, so that you can give us the benefit of doubt.
Honorable Rasso.
Thank you very much, Chairman. Chairman, I beg to support this particular proposal in this law. When we are making laws in this House, we are not just going to look at what is available or what is provided. In this particular case, what the Cabinet Secretary is requesting, give me additional tools so that if there are seepages in tax collection, then I will have tools in my toolbox to be able to get to those individuals. And in this particular case, he's saying he wants to appoint agents, an agent or agents. But my initial concern,
Order, honorable members, could you listen to Honorable Rasso so that you have an enriched... Okay, proceed, Honorable Rasso.
Honorable Chairman, when initially I looked at it, from the face of it, that it is possible for the Cabinet Secretary to just pick his friends or his business partners to be the agents who will be collecting tax on his behalf. But looking at it deeper, and also looking at subclause 5, the Cabinet Secretary may make regulation prescribing the qualification for appointment as an agent. So it's not just going to be any other person. That person will actually be sought through vigorous interrogation if they will be able to do this particular work. Proportion of tax proceeds, how much they are likely to get from what they will have collected. So it does not in any way superimpose those other agencies or institutions. You are simply giving him more tools to be able to prevent any seepages within those who should be taxed. Thank you, Chairman.
Yes, Kajuang.
Yeah, I haven't spoken, and that does not mean that I don't have anything.
Proceed.
Mr. Chairman, let us be careful here. There are two things that comes to my mind. Number one is that the proposer of this amendment is not on the floor, is not in the chamber, and the chair has not given you a letter of authority to prosecute this amendment, number one, on standing orders. But number two, I would have wished that he was here to explain some of the things that are boggling up our minds. Who is an agent? It's not defined in that amendment. Does it have the meaning in the Law of Contract Act? Does it have the meaning in the law of agency? Does it have the meaning of the law of company law? That must be provided for. If not, it is going to be a window for corruption. Because then the person appointing the agent may appoint somebody who is not competent under the law to be an agent. So that word is not used in its customary way. It is used in a legal context which needs definition so that we know whom an agent is. Thank you.
Yes, Mboni.
Chair, looking at 45A, 4, the definition of digital place, marketplace, I don't think we need it here. Maybe we can take it to clause 2, but looking at the bill, I've not seen anywhere where the word digital marketplace is being used. But basically, I don't think we can have it here. We can take it to clause 2, where the definitions are hard.
So you don't think this course is necessary at this stage?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you have the floor.
Because I know my chair.
Kaluma, you have the floor, yes.
Yes, the chair of my committee, I know when opposition is reasonable, we'll act accordingly. Chair, if you see what is being proposed here, is tracing and determination of due taxes. And it is being proposed that there are circumstances where the cabinet secretary can decide without any defined criteria in the provision, okay, to appoint somebody having so determined, Honorable Chair, that the Commissioner General may not be capable of tracing. And so you appoint somebody away from the Kenya Revenue Authority, which can be oversighted, to anybody, a blank check. What if you are doing legitimate business, Honorable Chair, and you are met by a person harassing you, Chair, from the ATPU or any other organization telling you you've been receiving money and then we deal with it. And Chair, I say this as a practitioner. I had a very good friend of mine who was killed very casually on claim that he was a terrorist, a guy who had no link at all. We don't want a situation where you'd, just use people for offices where they don't fall clearly. You delegate the powers of the Commissioner General of Kenya Revenue Authority or the authority itself to bodies that then taxation will not be harmonized, and you'll have people harassing one another all over for reasons you cannot determine. Chair, I've litigated some of these matters. I would request honorable members, when we have clear provisions under the law allowing a procedural determination of regulatory authorities, whether it is taxes around the digital space or whatever, so clearly defined as it is in clause 6, we don't allow space that may be abused to pursue ends other than what we contemplate in this acceptably, Honorable Chair, novel law. This one I would urge the members we reject.
On a Kazari Chair is not supposed to have an opinion on this, but on a Kazari, look at that. It says here, an agent appointed under the section may retain, may is optional. Proceeds of any taxes recovered upon tracing by agent such amount to not exceeding. From the beginning it says may, so it's and then it goes ahead and says the cabinet secretary may make regulations prescribing the qualifications, prescribing the proportion of tax proceeds to be retained by an agent upon tracing the assets. Are you sure you're not going to create people who will be such a powerful busybodies that you just basically look? Yeah. I mean, you're running on a wild goose chase and extorting money from. Anyway, proceed. You're the one who.
Honorable Chair, I do share with the sentiments raised by the honorable members and their concerns. But let me also raise a matter of fact that this issue of virtual assets, one is assets you cannot physically trace. They are virtual. They are somewhere there on the clouds, using very complex blockchain technology that even getting to visibility of them is almost impossible. An example, Honorable Chair, one of the most popular cryptos is Bitcoins. Up to today, it is not known who the owner of Bitcoin is. And yet, one Bitcoin is trading at around 11 million shillings now. 11 million shillings. 13 million shillings. And we cannot physically trace who is this owner of this particular Bitcoin, Honorable Chair. There are particular skills like what we call layering, for example, Honorable Chair, that's used to disguise the system. In Africa, Honorable Chair, as I explained earlier, Kenya will be among the top 5 countries, if not top 3, to come up with a legal framework on virtual assets. So what happens when a Kenyan trader is trading with a Ugandan trader or a Tanzanian trader or an Egyptian trader or a Morocco trader where there doesn't exist legal provisions? And therefore, information sharing and things like what you have, like laws that we have, for example, on OECD countries, on for example, base erosion and profit shifting, where we have now agreements among countries to prevention of profit of base erosion and base erosion and profit shifting exists. There doesn't exist any legal provision for this, Honorable Chair. And therefore, this provision, and that's why the use of the language may is very deliberate. We're not saying shall. We are saying in the event that there is no capacity and there is a requirement of particular skill that is not contained in the 2 regulatory authorities available, the 3 regulatory authorities, both KRA and CBK and CMA, then that particular skill can be sought by other entities. So I really beg to the House that there is no harm in this particular regulation, and the use of that may is very deliberate. I beg.
Yeah, but you still haven't, anyway, I'm on the chair, so I can't have. Yes, Honorable Kaluma.
And I request my chair, if you look at clause 6.
Yes.
Because of the regulatory authorities, the clause 6 in the bill, clause 6C.
Yes.
Even where other authorities or other bodies may be designated, there are conditions being clearly attached.
Yes.
That number 1, the bodies that may be so designated shall be public bodies. It's a public body.
Indeed.
It's a condition.
Indeed.
And there is a reason for that.
Indeed.
These are body you can oversight if they are overreaching as the representatives of the people under Article 95. Yeah. The other thing that is inbuilt there is that that public body shall be published in the Gazette so that you know when it comes to you. What is being proposed here is that the Cabinet Secretary will be nominating, in fact appointing, any qualified person, not necessarily a public body, not a public officer, and you'll have an individual, a private person harassing people there with powers that, Honorable Chair, my chair, I've done very many cases where people have been killed very casually and families destroyed by such leeway. So I would request we drop this, or Chair, we put the question.
Honorable Kimani, I know you're not a lawyer. Order. I know you're not a lawyer, but if you read section 6, it says the following entities shall be the relevant regulatory authorities for the purpose of this act. Regulatory authorities, yeah? It says the capital markets, the central bank, and any other public body established under written law that the Cabinet Secretary may, by notice, designate as such. I see the conflict of, Yes, do you wish to withdraw or you?
Again, Honorable Chair, I've really tried to explain this particular concept. If you check, even in the drafting of this particular law, you can find the number of amendments we've had to do. And most of us, if you're honest in this room, even for me moving this particular bill, have had to spend a lot of hours trying to read and research about this particular space of virtual assets. Check the average age of our counterparts in these particular regulatory bodies and the users of this particular virtual assets. These particular assets are people between the age of 17 and 30 years. Honorable Chair, most of us in this room, very few of us, I think, will have any virtual asset wallets or bitcoins or these particular cryptos. And I would say the same of our staff, including at the Markets Authority and at the Central Bank of Kenya. In fact, Honorable Chair, our initial thinking, which we really differed with CBK, was that this particular mandate should have been delegated to a completely new regulatory authority that has a correct expertise. Because evidence has shown mixing old finance with new finance always creates problems. And we are saying, what is the harm in giving the cabinet secretary powers to, in the event there's a particular skill set that's not contained by CBK or CMA, then we can resort for that particular service. It has been done by other particular entities. So I really beg to have this house. There is no harm in giving these powers. And
then followed by the MP for...
I don't know why the Honorable Chair is really struggling to explain this, because you have already read very clear, and it is written, the institutions, the regulatory authorities are provided.
Absolutely.
And when, Honorable Speaker, it reaches at that time where we have some difficult, maybe in this regulation, the same institutions here, even Parliament, we normally advertise for consultancies. There are some consultants which, because there are some things we may not do as a Parliament. So these same regulatory institutions, the capital market authorities, the central bank, or any other public body, at that time, they should now seek for consultants, the specialists, not the cabinet secretary. We can ask the central bank at that time to say, okay, look for a specialist who can understand this field and give us a proper regulation.
It also says, you know, you go down and says, the appointment of an agent under subsection shall be made in the opinion. You want to just confine yourself to opinion of an individual, of the cabinet secretary, the Commissioner General of KRA is unable on reasonable grounds to trace such. Supposing the Commissioner General of says, no, I am able to do that. You know what I mean? Yes.
First member of the board of Central Bank of Kenya
was
very weak in so many areas. By the way, the only reason we approved him was that he was an expert in this digital or virtual asset space. And that is why we are being clear about public institutions. We cannot delegate such monumental power, such drastic power, Honorable Chair, from public officers, from public institutions to a private individual determined to be qualified unilaterally and capriciously by another person. And we cannot delegate the authority of Kenya Revenue Authority and these bodies. They have the powers, as Honorable Kangogo says, to delegate if they don't have the expertise they need under their
MP for Kwanza, you have something to add before I put the question?
Yeah, I think I was just saying that given this, by virtue of my background as an economist, and from what our learned friend is talking about, the moment you give this kind of thing, you know, this country, we have a problem of corruption.
Yes.
We have a problem of corruption, and the moment somebody's given a free hand to do anything, I want to take the chair that I think this one should be dropped, because you are just asking anybody. No, I'm talking, leader. I'm talking. I'm on the floor. You are disrupting.
Order, Honorable Kimani and
yes, they're
our
all I'm saying,
distinguished majority leader could use.
Yes, all I'm saying, Chair, I've sat here all alone. We've done a lot of corrections and amendments. I agree with the Chair of the Finance. But on this particular one, given the nature of our Kenyans today, I'm sorry, I will not accept this because he will
Honorable
appoint
members,
anybody.
I now
So
put,
let's drop this. Let's drop this and
yes.
let me come
You've
up
made your point.
with institution that I
You
can
made
be
your
able to do
point.
that. Thank
You
you.
made your point. I now put the question, the new clause 45A be now read a second time. Will as many other opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many contrary opinions say nay? Nay. The nays have it.
First schedule.
I propose the question that the schedule be the schedule of the bill. Order, honorable members. I now put the question that the schedule be the schedule of the bill. Will as many opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Second schedule.
I propose the question that the schedule be the schedule of the bill. Mover?
So, Honorable Chair, I beg to move that the second schedule be amended as per the order paper. In the proposed consequential amendment to Section 2 of the Proceeds of Crime and Anti-Money Laundering Act, in proposed definition of virtual assets of service providers by deleting the expression Section 3 and substituting therefore with the words expression in Section 2, and B, in proposed consequential amendments in the Capital Markets Authority by deleting the proposed amendment to Section 2 and deleting therefore with the following new amendment as per the order paper. Again, Honorable Chair, these particular amendments is just a cleanup and to provide for logical flow in the legislative framework, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, I propose the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. I now put the question that the schedule be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that the schedule as amended be the schedule of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 2.
I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Mover? Mover.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that that clause 2 be amended as per the order paper. Honorable Chair, this is a consequential amendment where we were deleting the words anti-money laundering, counter-terrorism finance, and countering provocation financing across the bill and replacing those words with the abbreviations AML/CFT/CPF respectively. Now that we've replaced the words with the abbreviations, now we're providing now for amendment clause 2 by providing a definition of what abbreviations, on those abbreviations mean, so that there is clarity, Honorable Chair.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. Shall I put the question?
Put the question.
I now put the question that clause 2 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 2 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Title.
I propose the question that the title be part of the bill. I now put the question that the title be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
Clause 1. I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. I'm now calling upon the mover to move the report.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg
move reporting. To move reporting.
Honorable Chairperson, I beg to move that the committee do report to the House consideration of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025, and approval therefore with amendments.
I put the question, which is that the committee will do report to the House its considerations of the Virtual Assets Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many of the opinions say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinions say nay? The ayes have it. Oh, you're going to the next one.
amendments.
Honorable members, we are now going to consider the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025.
Clause 3.
Yes, what's your point of order, Honorable Kajuang?
Mr. Chairman, before we begin, I see an error on the order paper, which I am sure was a mistake. You see page 2005.
Yes.
Which refers to the amendments by Honorable Member for Samburu West, Lysoda.
She is not in.
And touching the bill, when you look at it, you would think that once we finish with what is on 2404, we would proceed to look at the clauses that are proposed in clause 2 and so on, just because they attach a similar legislation. I need you to pronounce yourself, Mr. Chair, that let us ignore the page 2405 or delete it, because that has to be very clear from the chair, although it's doubted that the chairman in the committee of the whole house can re-alter the order paper. But now we are on this business. I think you have a jurisdiction to pronounce yourself that we are not going to look at what is on page 2405 and over the other page, and that we will stop at page 2404. Thank you. Those are two legislations. They are different.
Indeed, I will. I'm informed that the mover is not there, but I don't know whether she is going to move in anytime between now and when we exhaust 2024.
No, notwithstanding, I'm talking about standing orders, notwithstanding the fact that the member is not here. I'm saying as a matter of principle, even if she was here,
yes,
we wouldn't have dealt with it, because I see a mistake which perhaps was done in room 8. And I think I need to clean this as a matter of standing orders. I mean, a matter of the rules and procedure, that you cannot bring a legislation which is different and ask us on committee of the whole house to consider those in another legislation that we are considering. Because these are two different legislations. They were published differently. Public participation were taken differently. The committees themselves were differently. So as a matter of principle, I just want you to pronounce yourself that these matters, we will not consider them, and the member can appear on a different day and prosecute what it is. But as a matter of principle, I think room 8 was wrong to have listed this on the order paper. That's what I'm pursuing.
Okay, it's noted.
Clause 3.
Honourable members, I propose the question that clause 3 be amended, be part of the bill. Mover? Where is the mover for the roads? Yeah, the mover, proceed, yes.
And in terms of...
Move the amendment, yeah.
Honorable Chair, the amendment I thought was being moved by the chairperson.
The chairperson of the transport, you're supposed, Honorable GK. Order, Honorable GK. What happened? You're supposed to move an amendment
to
on
my
this issue.
senior.
Yeah, proceed.
Yes.
Okay.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 3 be amended as it is in the order paper. And reason being that the national government is charged with the responsibility for standards of public roads for both levels of government. This amendment, Honorable Chair, seeks to create a consultative mechanism between the relevant county government and the Cabinet Secretary when classifying roads and reviewing the classification of roads.
I propose the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed. Any debate on that? Yes, Honorable Kaluma.
I concede the amendment is necessary for clarity.
I now put the question that clause 3 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 3 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of the opinion say aye? Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it again.
Clause 4.
I propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. Is it amended? Yes. I propose the question that clause 4 be part of the bill. Somebody is moving an amendment, is it? On clause 4.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 4 be amended as provided for in the order paper. Honorable Chair, this amendment seeks to ensure that the road is identified by its classification and code. Thank you.
Yes, the Honorable Majority Leader. I want to propose first, yes. I now propose the question that clause 4 be amended as proposed. Yeah, the Honorable Majority Leader.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I beg to support this particular amendment, Honorable Chair. This is a very good amendment, Chair, because it is designating the classified roads and ensuring that Kenyans will be able to know, for instance, the expressway is a national government class A road, and it is the national government that is in charge of maintaining that road. So that people stop hiding behind others, Honorable Speaker, Honorable Chair. Because what is going on around the country today is roads are not being maintained, roads are not being constructed. And you ask an MC, he tells you, oh, that is a national government road. You ask a member of parliament, he says that's a county road. Now it must be clear to Kenyans who is in charge of what road, so that many of the county roads in our constituencies that are not being maintained, that are dilapidated, Kenyans can know it is their governors who are not doing their work. And those that belong to the national government, I can be asked as a member of parliament. Honorable Chair, in my constituency, I have suffered immensely because the county government simply abandoned the construction of roads. And because members of parliament are the ones who are available to their constituents. Governors, you know, are small gods. You can never see them. And even when they visit your constituents, you can never get near them. So it is members of parliament who bear the pain of having to be questioned by the public all the time, even on roads that are under the responsibility of the county government. So this amendment is ensuring that both levels of government, and I've seen it, and I think the chair must have borrowed it from the Republic of South Africa. I know he has very many investments in that country. So if you go to the city of Cape Town, for instance, you see NG1, that's a national government, or 1, the code 1, and that's what they are saying, that classification including a level of government. So a national government road probably could be NG, national government, class A, A1. If it's a county government, ECG, class B or class C or class E, CG, E1, E2. That way Kenyans will be clear who is not doing his work. Because we have 2 complementary levels of government, and each have a responsibility, and each level of government now, under this bill, also have resources to maintain roads. So let us know which level of government is not utilizing their money to maintain their roads. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I completely support this amendment.
Would you wish to say something? Okay, Honorable Kajuang.
You know what they do nowadays in county governments? You do a road, either Kura or Kera does a road, they come to that road and do paperwork and say that they are the ones who did that road. So if you put a code, in fact, we should even go digital and put something which, if you get a button somewhere, that you cannot be able to get money if you want to do a road which is in the province of other people. But the code is good enough. And we want to know the level of government which is in charge of the maintenance and rehabilitation of those roads. At least in the cities, we are very clear, because this is the source of corruption. Every county government is pitching on things which have been done by Kera, Kora, and doing paperwork and saying that they did those roads. So this is is good send, and I support.
Yes, Honorable Kimani.
So, Honorable Chair, I want to really thank the Chair for Transport for coming these amendments, and agree with the Honorable Kajuang on his proposal, Honorable Chair. It is actually possible to provide for coordinates for start of the road and to finish, and provide that, especially during a time when you're going for e-procurement, Honorable Chair, to provide for the coordinates of that road that's being done. So that by a click of a button, anywhere I can check this is the road that was done, and for how much and by whom. And Honorable Chair, you will understand, therefore, even the push by governors to stop the issue of e-procurement. And this is one of the reasons. Because some of the roads and some of the infrastructure that have been built by the national government, including by road agencies like Kura and Kera, are being replicated in terms of payment by counties, Honorable Chair. And therefore, I support this particular amendment and say that we should go further to provide for coordinates for this particular road and how much it costs and who did the road, so that we provide all these leakages in terms of public resources. Thank you, Honorable Chair.
Yes. Yes, Madam Ayaka.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I also want to add on top that every road must have proper quality work done, because there are some roads we find people repairing, but they're just filling the roads with some dust, soil, scratching. Then after scratching, when the rains come, it's swept. So we don't know what Kura or Kera standards are at. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, Honorable Omanyo, sorry I mentioned Mayaka, and it should be Catherine Omanyo, Member of Parliament for Busia. Honorable members, I now put the question that clause 4 be amended. Yes, the Honorable Kaluma.
Yeah, Chair, and I request for the attention.
Order, Majority Leader and Chair of Finance and Chair of Transport.
Of the committee in charge of. Chair, let me thank the Chair of the Departmental Committee in charge of Transport and Infrastructure for the amendment in terms of clause 1A. It makes it clear that there should be signage to make it clear which level of government has dealt with the road. And I will not reiterate those reasons, Chair, because of my other roles. But Chair, I'm worried about B, and I would request for more information.
B what?
The proposed 1A, B. The proposed 1B, 4.1B. That road code. And my worry, Chair, and members, is that if you require prior codes, we may not be able to have these relevant road agencies apply the funds, especially to create emergency roads. falling within their mandate which are new, which are not yet existent and coded. I can give you an example, Chair. When we were honored as Homa Bay to host Madaraka, the visiting head of state said the interest of his country is in beekeeping. And so it is decided she is to visit somewhere where beekeeping is going on, and that place has no road. If you require prior coding, it means that access road cannot be established. There should be a whole kind of issue. We have cases in rural constituencies, Honorable Chair, where, let us assume the head of state is visiting you. It has no access road to that place, be it a place of a funeral, like the one we have. Are we saying even with funds, before there is proper coding, these roads agencies, still being accountable, cannot move and prepare the roads? And I was therefore saying that unless that part is well explained, those emergency situations, we may unduly tie the hands of these agencies in terms of the interventions they may need to allow such situations to be addressed.
Let me attempt to answer.
Yes.
Sometimes I get very persuasive to my brother, and I'm sure I will in this case. I want to assuage his concerns. A road, just like a human being or any other thing, should be known by name. A code gives it a name, something peculiar that when you refer to, you can only refer to something which is definite. That is one. Number two, in the subsequent amendments, I am sure he has seen the committee report. The committee report will be classifying those roads. So once the roads have been classified, and once we now know that this is a county road, or this is a national road, or whatever else it is, the examples that he was citing will be categorized in those specific issues, in those specific areas. And then, in the report, there is also another amendment that the chair will move, which says that the cabinet secretary will apply the funds equitably with a criteria, so that if there is a road emergency, the cabinet secretary should apply the funds which are under his disposal to those specific categories of road on emergency basis. So I think that his fears, though legitimate, but I think they are well explained. Thank you.
Bowen?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I think the Honorable GACHAGUA has said exactly what I wanted to say, that we have emergencies, which do happen. But again, you will find that the ministry has emergency fund. Because sometimes you will find some of our roads, Honorable Speaker, where I come from in Kerio Valley, you will find that all of a sudden when it rains and there is a flood, so the whole road is swept. And sometimes at that point, there is need for an emergency to create an alternative route. So there must be an emergency funds, both at the national and the county government. Number two, Honorable Speaker, there is also some special cases like security roads. So I think for the act, there is need to have regulations whereby where there is an emergency, the regulations gives out a clear guideline on what should be done, or even in a case of a security routes. You go to a case like Baringo, Honorable Speaker, you'll find the national highway from Marikat to Loru. Because of the rise of waters of Lake Baringo, it has completely swallowed the highway. And there was need to have an emergency to create an alternative route. So there must be some emergency fund which can address that kind of disaster.
Komingoi, would you we still have another three clauses, and you're a member of the committee, I'm told. Yes. Okay.
It's only on the question of the
proceed.
On the code.
Proceed.
The classification provides for the description of the road. The coding provides for the naming. So to the extent that any road that may not have been there, the provisions of the law is that it can be initiated by the county government or the agency for its classification and coding.
And now put the question, honorable members, that clause 4 be amended as proposed. Will as many as the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 4 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 5.
Honorable members, I propose that clause 5 be part of the bill. Mover?
Honorable Chair,
Chair,
I beg
Chair.
to move.
Yes.
I beg to move that clause 5 be amended as it is in the order paper. Honorable Chair, this amendment seeks to provide a concise and clear description of the proposed class CU, that's urban roads.
I propose the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. Anybody who wants to contribute? Okay, I now put the question that clause 5 be amended as proposed. Will as many as the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as the opinion say nay? The ayes have it. I now put the question that clause 5 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many as the opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many as the opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 6.
Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 6 be part of the bill. Chair.
Honorable Chair, I beg to move that clause 6 be amended as it is in the order paper. And Honorable Chair, this amendment seeks to provide for an increase in disbursement of the constituency road fund that is administered by KERA, which is an equitable fund.
Yes. Honorable members, I propose the question that clause 5, honorable members, I propose the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Anybody? Yes.
Chair, as I said when I was moving this bill, this is a bill that is seriously and ideally a bill for this committee in charge of transport and infrastructure. I want to thank the chair for rationalizing the sharing percentages to realign them to even the new road categories created like the LM. My request going forward, Chair, is that both this House and the House of the Senate, because this is a bill that will be treated by both Houses of Parliament, realize that these calculations are not arbitrary and they're not based on the equitable share under the Constitution. They're based on roads classified per county, which we have specified in this bill, if so enacted, will be determined, Honorable Chair, by the CS in consultation with the respective county government, so that we don't treat this as arbitrary figures, but it's a very hard calculation. In fact, Chair, despite having been one of the best mathematics students at KCSE level, I was lost when the engineers we sat with were making these calculations, and I thank them. So I wanted to urge that going forward, we don't just approve this, but even if it were to go to the other house, we don't just throw figures, because the calculations are based on actual roads, their length and the funding levels needed to ensure that they are all maintained by both levels of government, the roads agencies and the county governments, for the good of the people of Kenya. I thank you, Chair, and I support the amendment.
Mr. Chairman. Chairman, just to underline the importance.
Yes.
Can I have the mic? Just to underline the importance of this amendment, this is what this assembly has always said. You can see that other than the percentages that my learned friend is talking about, I want to look at Amendment 2B. The board shall not approve any disbursements of funds to a county government unless the county government has met the requirements set out in subsection 3A and B. 3A and B is on page 790 and 791 of the bill, it says that, number one, the county must designate a department or a division responsible for the maintenance, rehabilitation, and development of the county road. Number two, open and maintain a special purpose account in the central bank into which they shall deposit the funds under subsection that. Meaning, now county governments will not, these monies will be conditional grants, which must be applied to the purpose for which they are sent to the counties. And until this is done, they will not avail those monies. Before, monies have been given them, and they have used them for recurrent expenditure and all that kind of thing. So I just want to emphasize that in support of the amendments that we now have on this clause. Thank you.
For the benefit, anybody else? I'll what does exactly the amendment say? Is it a refund? Do they have to do the jobs and then they're refunded for the jobs they've done? Or is after allocation that they have to account for as county governments? You realize I'm a member of, yeah? They cannot?
Central bank will not, I mean, the consolidated fund, they will not reach the consolidated fund unless they have satisfied they have satisfied the cabinet secretary that they have done these things.
They've done the job?
Yes, no. Yeah. That they have opened an account, there is a designated person, there is somebody whom we can hold accountable. That is when now they receive the money. Before that, they cannot receive the money.
Anyway, yes. And I'll put the question that clause 6 be amended as proposed. Will as many of the opponents say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opponents say nay? The ayes have it. And I'll put the question that clause 6 as amended be part of the bill. Will as many of that opinion say aye? Will as many of that opinion say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opinion say nay? The ayes have it.
New clauses 2A, 2B, 2C, 2D, 2E, and 2F.
Honorable members, he realizes the member of parliament is not here. The Honorable Naisula is not here to move these amendments. So they're all dropped. They're not being considered.
Clause 2.
Clause 2 is also dropped. Now we will take the honorable members. I propose the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 2 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opponents say aye? Aye. Will as many of the contrary opponents say nay? The ayes have it.
Title?
This is not the amendment. All the amendments are dropped in for Honorable Naisula. So we're talking about the clause 2 of the bill itself.
Title?
Yes, it's all dropped. So it's superseded, basically. You have self-suffice. I propose the question that the title be part of the bill. I now put the question that the title be part of the bill. Will as many of the opponents say aye? Will as many of the contrary opponents say nay? The ayes have it.
Clause 1.
I propose the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. I now put the question that clause 1 be part of the bill. Will as many of the opponents say aye? Aye. As many of the contrary opponents say nay? The ayes have it. I'm going to call on to the mover to move reporting. Where is he?
Mr. Chairman, I have the authority.
You have the authority from the Honorable Kaluma?
Both specific and ostensible authority.
Proceed.
To move this bill.
Okay, move.
The chairperson, I
move
beg
reporting.
to move that the committee do report to the House its consideration of the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3, Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025. and its approval, therefore,
thereof,
with amendments.
I put the question, which is that the committee do report to the House in its consideration of the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025, and its approval thereof with amendments. Will as many of say aye? Aye. As many contributors say nay? The ayes have it.
Where are we starting from?
Mr. Speaker.
Yes, in respect of the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, Chairperson to report to the House.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the whole House has considered the Virtual Asset Service Providers Bill, National Assembly Bill number 15 of 2025, and approved the same with amendments.
The mover to move agreement with the report.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that this House do agree with the committee of the said report, and I request the Honorable David Boni, the MP for the great people of UHURU, to second the motion for agreement with the report of the committee of the whole House.
Honorable David Boni.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. As the leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg Honorable Speaker to thank members for this bill, and especially members of the Finance Committee. And as much as the Honorable Boni and the Chair have withstood a lot of heat in consideration of this particular bill, I know, as the Chair was saying, this is a completely new area for many people, including those in some of our regulatory authorities like CBK, the Capital Markets Authority. And I know there was a very strong push to have an independent authority to regulate this sector. But we have agreed with the Chair, and I know his sentiments on that particular aspect, that let us also give them an opportunity to see if they will be able to regulate, but also to use this opportunity to ask the Central Bank of Kenya and the Capital Markets Authority to make sure that they are up to speed in ensuring that they do not derail the work of the cryptocurrency industry in any way, to ensure that they also bring themselves up to speed with current ongoings in the field of technology, so that the fears that the committee had expressed and many members of the public who had appeared before the committee had expressed on the inability of CBK and CMA to regulate this particular sector can be preempted by their positive action. And I want to ask them to immediately, upon the passage of this bill, to appraise themselves with all the provisions of this bill, so that they're able to regulate this sector in a way that will enhance the growth of our economy. Because, as the Chair said, it's a new field, but one that is very good in generating wealth, especially for young tech-savvy Kenyans who are in the cryptocurrency field. Therefore, we can only support them through positive legislation, which we are doing today, and I thank the committee for that and the House for having considered this bill to its conclusion. Thank you.
The Honorable Mangale Chifromodo has stepped out for other duties. I'll defer further consideration of the bill, including putting of the question to the future. The chairperson, in respect of the Kenya Roads Board Amendment number 3 Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025, to report to the House. The Honorable Kajwang.
Mr. Speaker, Honorable Speaker, I beg to report that the Committee of the Whole House has considered the Kenya Roads Amendment number 3, Bill, National Assembly Bill number 34 of 2025, and approved the same with amendments.
The mover of the bill to move agreement with the report.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. I also request Honorable Kimogoi to second the motion for agreement with the report of the Committee of the Whole House.
Honorable Komigoi.
Honorable Speaker, I second.
Honorable members, I now propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Do you have any contributions? I'm seeing Honorable Chief Romodo has stepped out on other duties. Honorable members, for the convenience of the House, I have proposed. Did I propose the question? There are situations where the phrase "for the avoidance of doubt" apply. So I propose the question, which is that the House do agree with the committee in the said report. Yes, honorable members, for the convenience of the House, I will defer further business on the matter of this bill to the future, as and when the House Business Committee will schedule it. And those businesses will include putting the question at all levels of the consideration of the matter. Next order.
Order number 9, motion. Consideration of the 7th report on examination of financial statements of selected state corporations.
Yeah, honorable members, I was requested by the Chairperson, Public Investments Committee on Social Services, Administration and Agriculture, the Honorable Emmanuel Wangwe, to step down the matter appearing under Order number 9 to the future for the consideration of the House. And it's a request I have considered. Next order.
Order number 10, the Intergovernmental Relations Amendment Bill, Senate Bill number 12 of 2024. Second reading.
Honorable members, again, I step down the matter appearing under Order number 10 on the request for better consideration and for moving by the mover to a future date as and when the House Business Committee will schedule it for the House's consideration. Next order.
Order number 11, motion. Consideration of sessional paper number 5 of 2024 on the National Green Fiscal Incentives Policy Framework.
Again, the matter appearing under Order number 11, step down for consideration in the future as and when it will be scheduled to come before the House by the House Business Committee. Next order.
Order number 12, motion. Consideration of reports of the East African Legislative Assembly at the 4th meeting of the 2nd session of the 5th Assembly.
The matter appearing under Order number 12 is stepped down and deferred to the future for consideration of the House for the convenience of the House. Next order.
Order number 13, motion. Consideration of the privileges and immunities, the Global Center for Adaptation, Order 2025.
For the convenience of the House, the matter appearing under Order number 13 is stepped down to be considered by the House in futures and when it will again be listed for House business by the House Business Committee. Thank you, honorable members. Let us be upstanding. that being the last business on the order paper for today, and honorable members, the time being 6:54 p.m., this House stands adjourned until Tuesday, the 7th day of October 2025 at 2:30 p.m.